It's going to be a long day, and I'm here by myself, so I'd like you both to look out for me this morning.
Shay, Orlovsky. What's up, fellas? What's going on?
What's going on?
I'm doing amazing. Stephen A., I was supposed to be at the event. I was supposed to do Saturday, but unfortunately, I was not able to do it. The Invest Fest that you and Steve Harvey did yesterday. Right. I was supposed to do Saturday, but unfortunately, I had to leave early and come to Houston, so I wasn't able to film. But I had a great time Friday.
So you gonna say that with a smile on your face that you wasn't where you were supposed to be because you had other stuff going on, and you just left town with me and Steve Harvey, and you left everything up to me and Steve Harvey?
H-Town.
Yeah, that is true. We ain't gonna talk about that. We ain't gonna talk about that.
Oh, that burst.
We ain't gonna talk about that. We don't have to worry about Dan Orlovsky going someplace because obviously that would involve paying for a flight,
Cheapo.
which his cheap ass will hesitate to do at every turn. So we know he ain't going nowhere.
What is this early?
Greyhound.
That's what it is.
Take it down.
He'll jump on Greyhound, Stephen A.
No,
Calm down.
I'm in a very good mood. Did y'all have a wonderful weekend?
I had
a
an
wonderful
amazing weekend.
You know what,
Want me to
Molly?
share your story we do last night?
Awesome.
Nice
It's
to see you, Molly.
amazing to see you.
It's nice to see you,
And
Molly.
guess what
You
we're
good?
doing this week? We're going up to Bristol.
Oh, damn.
Yep.
Hey!
We're coming up to Bristol, Stephen A.
I'm just want to make a bet that Dan's going to be gone when we get there with his sorry stuff.
What day you here?
Let's move on.
What day you here?
None of your business.
Wednesday.
Let's go. Let's go.
We're 10 days away from the NFL season kickoff, and it doesn't get much better than this. The AFC Championship rematch Thursday, September 5th, 8:20. The MVP Lamar Jackson and the Ravens will try to get revenge on the defending champs who are trying to go for a three-peat. Patrick Mahomes has beaten up on most of the league's top quarterbacks, especially Lamar Jackson, who he's 4-1 against head-to-head and has a 15-3 career playoff record, with the only losses coming to Tom Brady twice and Joe Burrow. Shannon, which quarterback needs to beat Mahomes the most?
You asking me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Shannon.
Oh, Lamar Jackson, because he's the most accomplished quarterback, and he doesn't have that signature win in a postseason game over Pat Mahomes. Check this out, because everybody loves numbers and say Lamar wins. Do you realize that Lamar Jackson's defense in the postseason averaged giving up less than 16 points a game? Patrick Mahomes' defense gives up over 22 points a game. Patrick Mahomes is 15-3 in those games. Lamar Jackson is 2-4. Lamar Jackson's defense gives up fewer points in the postseason than they do the regular season, because he's a two-time league MVP. He's one vote short of being a two-time unanimous MVP. And he had everything set up for him this past season. He had home field advantage as long as he won. And this is what everybody has always wanted. Josh Allen wanted home field advantage. What did Patrick Mahomes do? Go there, beat him. Lamar Jackson wanted home field. He got it. And in a championship game, when the rubber needed to meet the road, Patrick Mahomes won that ball game. Because Lamar Jackson is so accomplished, it's the only thing on his resume that he has not accomplished, which is that signature win in a playoff game over Patrick Mahomes. If he were to get that, now we're talking about something, because I think Lamar Jackson, when it's all said and done, he's already, for me, if he can get a signature playoff win over Patrick Mahomes, I think that's going to put him in the top 10. He can mess around and win a Super Bowl.
Top 10
There's
what?
no telling high. Because of, excuse me?
Top 10 all time?
Yes. I think if he gets that playoff, because I think if he can get past Patrick Mahomes, I don't believe anybody else can beat him in the postseason. Patrick Mahomes has been his kryptonite. Well, hell, Patrick Mahomes has been a lot of guys' kryptonite come postseason. He's kept Josh Allen. He's kept Joe Burrow from going to probably back-to-back Super Bowls. Obviously, he's on Tua. But Lamar Jackson is under the most pressure to beat Patrick Mahomes because of his accomplishments, and it's the only signature thing that he hasn't done.
Go ahead, Dan.
It's Aaron Rodgers. He's the one who needs to beat Patrick Mahomes the most. So if Aaron's played for about 20 years now, over the course of those 20 years, the great quarterbacks in that almost 2-decade span have been Tom Brady, they've been Peyton Manning, it's been Patrick Mahomes, and then it's really been Aaron Rodgers. When it comes to greats, Aaron Rodgers is a guy that hasn't had the opportunity to knock off Patrick Mahomes. he's got the chance to go do it. The expectations, because of that 2-decade run of, dude, you're one of the best, maybe ever, certainly, but in that 2-decade span, the expectations when he went to the New York Jets were, the Jets have a great football team, but they are short of a quarterback. And they're going to go make the move for a guy that had won MVP 2 out of 3 seasons. And really the only reason why Green Bay was moving on, or main reason, because they were unknown on Aaron Rodgers, like retire, non-retire, and they took a quarterback in the first round. Like that wasn't because of a lack of performance. And so because of the expectations that are levied with the Rodgers addition to the Jets, that's why I think it goes down as, if this is a total failure and they don't win playoff games, one of the worst trades ever. Because of the expectations, not because of what was given up. Because of the expectations.
But that was the question.
Which quarterback needs to defeat Mahomes most? Because he's got to go win a Super Bowl.
It's
He got to go win a Super Bowl, and he's not going to unless he beats Patrick.
Dio, he's a 4-time league MVP. He's already won a Super Bowl. What's the thing? What's the knock on him? What's the knock on Lamar?
That he doesn't play his best level or the way he plays in the regular season in the playoffs. But here's my pushback. Shannon. I don't disagree. You make some good points. One, Kurt Warner has said this, and I agree with it. Unless Aaron gets to that second one, he really doesn't, at least in some of those all-time greats' eyes, get into that conversation.
I want to say this. Dio, if you're telling me expectations, I'll agree with you. But if you say who needs right now to beat Patrick Mahomes, is Lamar Jackson, given that he's faced him more times than Aaron Rodgers. He's in the AFC, and we know the road to the Super Bowl, no matter where it's being played, you got to detour at some point in time and travel through Kansas City.
Well, it's a couple of things. Let me chime in right here, right now. First of all, to the audience out there, Shannon Sharpe, because he's in H-Town, has got a slight delay. You understand? It's a slight delay. That was actually Molly's job to tell y'all that. I don't know why the hell she didn't tell y'all, so I'm going to tell y'all, okay? It's a slight delay, so when Shannon Sharpe talks, we're not going to interrupt him until he's finished because we'll jump over him. That's number one. Number two, okay? That's right. I got on you, Molly, because it was a beautiful thing to do. It's rare. Number two, Dan Orlovsky. You need to be tested. The hell you talking about? Makes no sense what you're saying whatsoever. One of your worst takes ever. I don't know what the hell you thinking about, okay? Aaron Rodgers. First of all, Aaron Rodgers, as Shannon Sharpe said, is a 4-time league MVP. He's a Super Bowl champion. Also, he just got to the AFC, okay? He just got there. And he got hurt 4 plays into the season. Can he stay healthy? Can he get to the Jets, to the players for the first time since 2010? I would think that those things would be a priority even before you get to competing against the reigning 2-time defending Super Bowl champion and a 3-time Super Bowl champion in Patrick Mahomes. The answer to this question is your boy Josh Allen. See, you slipped up with that. It's Josh Allen. Stop it. Let me tell you something right now, because I know you want receipts, so I'm going to give them to you, okay? We're talking about a Josh Allen who's 3-1 against Patrick Mahomes. Yo, Shay, he's 0-3 against Patrick Mahomes in the postseason. That's a glaring thing. So in other words, in a regular season, you can handle your business. But during the postseason, all of a sudden, you nosedive and you can't beat the brother. That's number one. Number two, Josh Allen, 0-4 in playoff starts versus Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow, and 5-1 against everybody else. So the 2 elite quarterbacks in the AFC that ain't named Lamar Jackson, you can't beat those dudes, but you can beat everybody else. That's number 2. Number 3, check out this stat, Dan Orlovsky, and put that damn Orlovsky's up in the screen so I can see Mr. Elvis, okay? Don't give me no hole. Don't give me no hole with your nonsense, okay? Here's the deal. Josh Allen, 174 total touchdowns, passing, rushing, and receiving since 2020. That's 23 more than anybody else during that same time period, and the most in a 4-year span by any player in NFL history. He's also got 75 turnovers in that span, 14 more than anybody else, but I digress. When you got those kind of numbers and you're producing, what the hell is the problem once the postseason rolls around? 226 points scored off Josh Allen's 75 turnovers since 2020, both the most in the league. You look at the greatness of a Josh Allen, which is undeniable. The fact of the matter is, he's tended to get in his own way from time to time, and particularly against the likes of a Joe Burrow or the likes of against a Patrick Mahomes. And if Patrick Mahomes is the standard, because he damn sure is, that's who we're talking about here, and he's the one that has established himself as the king that you've got to knock off of his throne. Considering the flagrant greatness of Josh Allen, the stud that he is, can make every throw, can run over you, can do everything, okay? Except for when he's going up against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. That is a problem. You can't put Aaron Rodgers ahead of him in that argument, and you can't do that. You just can't do that.
You done? You done with that?
Stephen A. Dio.
Go ahead, Shannon.
Go ahead, Shannon.
This is why Stephen A. I disagree with you. But look how great Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is one vote away from being a two-time unanimous MVP. He is the guy that's had the offense and the defense to back him up, because there are points in time that Josh Allen's defense let him down. There are points in time that Patrick Mahomes' defense has let him down. Tell me the time in the playoffs that Lamar Jackson's defense has let him down.
Hold on.
Less than 16 points a game.
You're going to stop that. See, the nightcap, you staying up too damn late. You staying up too damn late. Get the bet on time. Get the bet on time, okay? And stop traveling all over the damn country and get the bet on time. Because clearly you've lost your rocker. No, the defense has not let Lamar Jackson down. You know what has let him down? The personnel on the offensive side of the ball. Because on far too many occasions in the past, we've looked at Lamar Jackson and we've lamented the fact that the Baltimore Ravens have haven't put forth the requisite weapons around him in order for him to excel. No, it wasn't the defense, but offensively, we've challenged the talent that the Baltimore Ravens have given him. We absolutely have.
Hold on. Do you talk about Stephen A, you said a talent that had him one vote short of twice being a unanimous MVP? That talent let him down?
Yes.
What about those turnovers? What about those turnovers? What about the turnovers? Did the turnovers? The turnovers that Lamar had against the Tennessee Titans when he had almost over 500 yards of total offense, but he had the turnovers. What about last year in the AFC Championship game when he had the turnovers?
You mean when Zay Flowers got the ball knocked out of his hand in the end zone? You mean that? You mean that? They don't know Lamar Jackson.
And the time he threw, and the time he threw in the triple coverage in the end zone, and the time he got that sack fumble in the pocket. Yeah, those, Stephen A.
I'm going to pick both of these apart, okay? Shannon, good point to Stephen A. in regards to the talent. Real quick question. The number one reason that the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Baltimore Ravens last year in the AFC Championship game was what?
What are you talking about?
I'm asking
Patrick
Shannon.
Mahomes Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes had a mistake-free football.
Shannon, the number one reason, the number one reason that the Ravens lost in that game to the Chiefs last year was because they refused to run the football. I understand there were other reasons. Lamar didn't play his best and the fumble. The number one reason was they did not run the football. And Kansas City took advantage of it, but that's the number one reason. So the Lamar thing, we can talk, the defensive point is a fair one. Lamar's in this conversation. But that's the number one reason why that game ended the way that it did. Stephen A., your Josh Allen point is absolutely absurd. It's absurd. You blanket statement, he's 3-1 against Patrick in the playoffs and 0-3 against Patrick, or 3-1 in the regular season and 0-3 against the playoffs. And you failed to mention, in two of those games, he is 56 of 76 for almost 550 yards, 5 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Did you get outdueled by Patrick Mahomes? Yes or no?
Dude.
Did you get outdueled by? Listen, I'm not trying to act like Josh Allen played like garbage, but the reality of the situation is that Patrick Mahomes played just as effectively, if not better. And that's number one. Hold on, wait a minute, because that's who you're going up against. You're going up against that dude, and obviously it was a relatively even matchup, but you ended up not getting it done in 3 of those outings. All 3 of those outings, you didn't walk away with one victory. Then we got to also look at Josh Allen in totality in terms of what he brings to the table as a starting quarterback in the National Football League for the Buffalo Bills throughout his career, okay? Right now, ranks over the last 4 seasons. This is Josh Allen. Wins with 48, second to Mahomes. Pass yards, second to Patrick Mahomes. TD passes, second to Patrick Mahomes. Quarterback rush yards, third behind Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts, right? And quarterback rush TD, second to only Jalen Hurts. When you're doing the kind of things that he's doing, and I bring up those first three categories, wins, pass yards, TD passes, the dude that is the reigning defending two-time Super Bowl champion and Patrick Mahomes has been your kryptonite, and I bring up those stats right there to you, Dan Orlovsky. You can't ignore that. That's the dude that's standing in his way.
He gave his team the lead on the road with 13 seconds. I mean, you sit. There's not a ton more that you can do.
I did not say he's the reason they lost. I'm saying when the question that needs to be asked, which quarterback needs to defeat Mahomes? We didn't say it's his fault they lost to Kansas City. Who's the quarterback that we know is great, that's got Super Bowl potential written all over him, but can't seem to get past Patrick Mahomes? It's him. It's him.
I think,
and the thing also, Stephen A., what Dan has failed. Dan, you're failing to mention. What about the lack of talent? Did he have lack of talent last year? That defense gave up 14 points at home, and they gave up 14 points early. After the first quarter, they shut them out. Patrick Mahomes scored another point. He didn't score another point, and the one vote short of a unanimous MVP could only get 10 at home. He's done everything else in the regular season. He can't do anything. Look at his win-loss record. Look at the MVPs. The only thing that he doesn't have on his resume is a major victory in a postseason game. And normally, the guy that gets past Patrick Mahomes in the postseason, what do they do, Stephen A? Go to the Super Bowl. Brady beat him in the AFC Championship, won the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow beat him in the AFC Championship. He lost the Super Bowl. Yeah, Tom Brady beat him in the AFC Championship game, went and won the Super Bowl in Atlanta against the Rams. So that's your measuring stick. You get past that guy, what we've seen, if you beat Patrick Mahomes in the postseason, you go into the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson is under the gun the most.
Where I think my argument usurps yours, Shannon, is that Lamar Jackson went up against Mahomes for the first time in the postseason last year. You've got Josh Allen going up against the brother 3 times. And Josh Allen is great, and we all know he's great. And a couple of years ago, a lot of people had the Buffalo Bills going to the damn Super Bowl. It hasn't happened. And I gave you the outstanding numbers that this dude has produced, how exceptional he's been, and the one repeated common denominator is Patrick Mahomes standing in his way. Not just in terms of victories, but wins, pass yards, touchdown passes. It's Patrick Mahomes standing in Josh Allen's way. That cannot be ignored. It cannot be.
Stephen A., those are fair points. And Shannon, like, your points on Lamar are fair. The time window has to matter in this conversation. You know, Lamar's got years left. Josh has got years left, and we talk about windows. You know what? Anytime you got quarterbacks like these, you got win. Aaron doesn't have nearly as long the window left. Aaron's got to go for this to pay dividends for the Jets and to take advantage of it.
You made in 20 minutes. That's the most decent argument you made in 20 minutes.
I said it.
For the time,
he's right.
For the time, he ain't got much time left. Everything else you said was nothing short of drivel. No wonder why you in Bristol. You understand what I'm saying? Sitting there instead of being here in studio with us so we could get on you.
You get on me for not being in studio.
Sit down, Elvis.
Yes,
you
seriously, Stephen A. Weak
for not
argument.
being in studio.
It was weak.
Stephen A.
No, weak by you.
No,
but here's the
weak
thing.
You're getting on people about not being in
Weak
studio.
by me. Go ahead, man.
Stephen A. I remember they said the same thing about Dan Marino. He got time. He went to the Super Bowl in his second year in 1984. He had time. Dio, how many times he went back to the Super Bowl? Y'all better stop this notion about he has time on his side, because in the NFL, there is no guarantee. All you have that moment. And when we go into that locker room and we're going in, we play the AFC Championship game or we're playing the Super Bowl, we say don't lose sight of this moment. Tomorrow is not guaranteed.
Yeah.
Look around. Everybody that's in this locker room right now, they won't be here next year.
We know what it stands for, Shannon Sharpe.
Time.
Not for long.